You're listening to The Locker Room, your home for professional and Quinnipiac sports.
There is no doubt in my mind at all that the New England Patriots are the best franchise in the NFL in the past 15 years.
You're out!
If Mike Trout can stay on the field, we're looking at one of the best players in Major League Baseball history.
It blows my mind that Kendrick Perkins is still a player in the NBA.
Here are your hosts, Austin Basile, Jason Davis, and Josh Brewer. Good evening, sports fans. Happy Monday, April 27th. Josh Brewer alongside Jason Davis and Austin Basile, coming at you live from the station here on Quinnipiac University, WQAQ Hampton 98.1 FM. We got a lot going on this week. We have NBA playoffs. We're in the middle of that. First rounds are starting to wrap up. Same goes for the NHL. Obviously, the MLB is starting to pick up. We just had the Subway Series. Teams are finally starting to figure some things out. And the NFL draft is coming up Thursday, April 30th. So there's really a lot of things to touch on. So just getting right into it immediately, we're going to start off with some basketball action. Cavs, they finish off the Celtics. They go 4-0. Yeah. However, they lose Kevin Love for 2 weeks.
Oh, really? I didn't know it was that long.
It'll be at least 2 weeks. He dislocated his shoulder.
Wow.
And I just got the update. Speaking of NBA playoffs, the Hawks lead the Nets 51-45 at halftime. We'll talk about the Nets a little later on. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I'm okay with that. Nets are competitive. But Cavs, they win that series 4-0, which pretty much everybody expected.
Right.
Everyone, expected the sweep. Cavs are the best team in the East. However, is it worth, I guess, the price of Love for 2 weeks?
I don't know. I don't think the big argument right now is if Olynyk did it on purpose or not. I don't think Olynyk did it on purpose. There's two big men fighting for the ball. They get tangled up all the time. I mean, yeah, maybe he was being a little more aggressive. Yeah, I think he wanted to rough him up a bit, but I don't think in any way he wanted to intentionally dislocate his shoulder. I think as far as Kendrick Perkins and J.R. Smith going against, Crowder?
Jay Crowder.
Yeah, that was intentional. And that was over the line. That was ridiculous. But I think that Olynyk on Love. I think big men get tied up all the time. I think maybe Olynyk was playing a little too hard. Yeah, but I feel like that's just sport of basketball. You're two big men. You're gonna get tie-ups like that all the time.
He grabbed his arm and pulled a little bit, but I wouldn't think that would have separated his shoulder. I saw it didn't seem he pulled that hard. His shoulder just was in the right angle, I guess. But it was like, he's going for the ball. You're gonna pull on his arm a little bit, try to get around him, get a foul, whatever. Who cares? But unfortunate, it dislocated his shoulder.
See, I'm gonna disagree with you guys.
Really?
I'm not gonna say that Kelly Olynyk purposefully dislocated Kevin Love's shoulder, because I don't think that's the case. Mm-hmm. However, I think obviously they interlocked arms and things like that, which does happen a lot.
Yeah,
I think Olynyk easily had the opportunity to let go.
Yeah. Oh, obviously.
I think he pushed that farther than it needed to go, and that resulted in Kevin Love getting injured. I don't want to say Kelly Olynyk is solely responsible for Kevin Love's injury. Olynyk did not injure Love, but Olynyk's actions resulted in Love getting hurt.
What you're saying is he could have stopped. He could have
absolutely
before things got out of hand. And I watched it live when it happened, and it looked like it hurt. And the moment it happened, Love, you could see on his face, he's like, "Yup, I have a problem. I need to get out of here."
If I was a ref, I would have called a loose ball foul on Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah, for holding him back that far and and stuff like that.
Because you had ample opportunity to unlock arms. We've all played basketball before.
Pull on it.
Stuff like that happens, but you don't have to try to gain strength over the other guy and pull him down or something like that. So I definitely think Olynyk is certainly at a little bit of fault there.
And I can see where you're going with that too, because that wasn't just underneath the basket too. That was the ball was coming away from the basket, and that was towards kind of the wing and stuff.
They had to make a run for the ball.
Exactly. It wasn't just they're jockeying for position underneath the basket. This is him holding him back from getting that loose ball.
Right.
I can see where you're coming from with that.
So fortunately for the Cavs, they're gonna have about a week off since they swept. So Kevin Love might only I believe I got an update recently that said he'll be out for the entire Eastern.
No way.
Yeah, I think so. The entire Eastern Conference semifinals.
This happens to be Kevin Love's luck, too. I mean, he didn't play that great over the season, comes in the playoffs, he starts playing really well for the Cavs those first, 2-3 games, and then, boom, he gets hurt, can't play. He's just, I'm not saying he had a terrible season, but, that just seems the way it's been going for him this season.
I was just talking with one of my friends at work about this, about how he supposedly wasn't having a great season.
Oh, yeah.
And he said that, and I'm like, all right, everybody's saying that because, one, the Cavs didn't do as well as advertised. Everyone expected this beast of a team, and it really wasn't that, especially at the beginning of the year.
He gets overshadowed by LeBron and Kyrie.
That too.
Right.
He averaged a double-double.
Oh, really?
He averaged 16.4 and 9.7 rebounds. So he averaged 16 and 10.
Wow, that's pretty good. That's good numbers.
His player efficiency rating is approaching 19, which, when you consider that LeBron and Kyrie, like you said, are also on that team, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Considering you're the third option on offense.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Yeah, I think
and there are
people
a lot
kind
of
downplay.
options.
Yeah,
Yes.
people downplay Love, but he's still one of the best power forwards in the league by far.
Yeah. Do you still think he should have made an All-Star? Yeah, I don't think so either. Because I mean, they're definitely better players. Because he wasn't as productive as he was on Minnesota. But like you said, it's not that he's playing so terribly. He's just like you said, he's a third option
right now. Yeah, and he's just
has to fit in that role.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's an above average player. It's just that he has two great players on his team.
Exactly.
So that's really what it is. But Kevin Love's still playing at an incredibly high level.
That's true.
And the Cavs are going to miss him, especially. I mean, it depends on who they play in the next round.
Right.
But
and they play the Bulls Bucks.
The Bulls
series?
Bucks. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they probably want the Bucks, but I think the Bulls are going to win that series, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But real back to the Cavs Celtics thing real quickly. What Perkins and Smith did, that surprised me that Perkins did that only because one, he played for the Celtics, and I don't know, that's kind of unnecessary. I think I watched I don't know if it was on the Snapchat Discover or something like that. They were talking about how Charles Oakley, the big man for the Bulls when Michael Jordan was playing at the time, and they would probably rough up people who were defending Michael and things like that. So Charles Oakley will get into scuffles and things like that. And I feel like Kendrick Perkins wants to do that for LeBron because they're kind of the same, similar. You can make comparisons between the two, but I don't think Kendrick Perkins, that was warranted. I mean, pushing someone off of a screen like that, and then J.R. Smith knocked him out. That's not okay. That's so bad. And I mean, the thing is, Kelly Olynyk has never had any problems before this incident, but I feel like J.R. Smith, on the other hand, he's been told multiple times in the league that, hey, you got to cut this out.
He's a troublemaker.
Yeah, he's definitely a troublemaker. He's definitely someone on the court who, likes to cause problems and get into fights and scuffles. I mean, is it a tactic to get in people's heads? I don't know what his goal is getting out of it, but going as far as punching someone in the face, knocking them out, and could almost seriously injure them, that's going a little too far in my book.
Yeah. J.R. Smith got what? The 2-game suspension?
Yeah.
Olynyk got 1 game, and then Perkins, I don't think got any. I don't think he got anything.
No. Yeah.
But an article I read earlier on actually said that this was the second time JR had actually slapped someone on a kind of play like that. Yeah.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw the thing last season where he would untie guys' sneakers and things like that.
That was just troll.
He's your prototypical mischievous child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. It was dumb, and now the Cavs are gonna have to pay for it because they don't go that deep.
Yeah.
They're 9 deep, maybe.
Yeah.
And now you don't have Love, and now you don't have Smith.
Yeah.
So Dellavedova is going to have to step up. Shump is going to have to step up.
Right.
And they're going to have to get scoring, and a lot of scoring from guys who aren't accustomed to providing that.
Yeah, who are just role players.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're going to be going up against the Bulls. I assume the Bulls are going to finish off the Bucks. They're up 3-1.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good series.
That's going to be really fun to see.
With Rose back.
Yeah. I'm happy that he is back and he is playing, again. And my thing with J.R. Smith is, I feel like he kind of got a second life or a second chance at a championship or things like that because, he played for the Nuggets, he played alongside Carmelo, and that team was good. I think when Iverson was, his point guard and things like that, moves to New York. New York's playing so badly and then decide, hey, he's going to go after the Cavaliers. Wow, look at him go. He can, every few games, he'll have a really good game, he'll break out, and it's okay, this is good. And J.R. Smith, he could potentially be, a really good role player for this team, and then you do something as stupid like this, and you could severely hurt your chances at a championship. That's so dumb of him to do that.
No, it definitely is not that smart at all, but I still think the Cavs will find a way to pull through in this series.
Right.
If the Bulls manage to get there. The only thing you'd have to worry about now is who's covering Pau Gasol.
Yeah.
Because it would have been Love's job.
Yeah. Kendrick Perkins?
Can Perkins keep up with Gasol? He's shorter.
Skinnier.
Gasol's much quicker than Perkins is.
Mm-hmm.
Gasol can play away from the hoop and under the hoop.
That's right.
So if it is Perkins, he's going to have his hands full.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That's going to be really interesting to see with Love out. Yeah, you're right. The Bulls probably like this now, that matchup with Joakim and Pau Gasol down low.
Right.
That's pretty good.
This Cavs series went 4-0 in favor of Cleveland. Mm-hmm. So obviously, Celtics fans aren't thrilled. But I think the Celtics played a very good series.
They were pretty close games.
Yeah, very true. I feel like Brett Stevens has nothing to be ashamed of.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, his team, first off, that was a team early on in the season. You're like, well, okay, this is a surefire thing. They're not making these playoffs. Yeah. And then they've kind of fought back and made some progress and ended up making the playoffs and kept the series kind of close. I know they got swept, but the games weren't close. They weren't so one-sided.
The same thing we saw in the Warriors-Pelican series, but here in Cleveland-Boston, Celtics lost by 13, 8,
Ooh.
8, and 8.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
These are all close games.
Wow.
And you look at this Celtics roster and you compare it to that Cavs roster. It looks it doesn't look like these games should be 8-point games.
Yeah, they should be blowouts, 20 or more. I mean,
considering the Cavs did have, big leads, double-digit leads, especially in the third and fourth games.
Yeah. And I mean, the Celtics don't even have that big of. I'm not saying they don't have big of stars anymore, but I mean, with Rondo gone, with Jeff Green gone, I mean, Pierce and Garnett are old and they're gone too. Who do they have? I mean, they have Avery Bradley, they have Kelly Olynyk and Tyler Zeller, and a bunch of no-name people who kind of banded together and got the last stretch of the season.
Right, and they're not really scorers.
Exactly.
Avery Bradley's known more for his defense than anything else.
Right.
Marcus Smart just got into the league.
Yeah.
Tyler Zeller, I think he's pretty much reached his ceiling. I don't think he's going to get much better than he already is.
Right.
Evan Turner's that one veteran on that team that I do like.
Yeah.
But even when he was on Philadelphia, he was never going to put up insane numbers scoring-wise,
Right.
So the fact that they were able to compete, you have Isaiah Thomas coming off the bench.
Oh, yeah.
He played so well for the Celtics.
Absolutely.
So well. And then you have guys like Olynyk, who he's expanded his range, shooting threes.
Yeah.
So good for him, I guess.
But that's crazy.
But if you're a Celtics fan, I think you have to be super proud of your team. Really bright future. Brad Stevens did a really good job with this team, considering the roster. So if they can make some roster improvements, Celtics are going to be a threat in the East.
And I was going to say that, I think what they need to take a look at their season and be like, we made progress, and this is what we plan on doing. I think they have two first-round picks in the draft, maybe? I think so.
Probably from the Nets.
No, it's from the Clippers, I think. They have one of their own, and I think from the Clips, I think they have, I don't know how many they have the next draft after that, but I definitely know for sure they have 2 first-round picks, but I think that's what they wanted. They're making progress, and they could potentially be, threatening in a few years or so.
Speaking of teams making progress, a team who is doing the opposite of making progress, the Raptors.
What
happened? Right. They go in as the 4 seed against the Wizards, the 5. So they start with that home court advantage.
Yeah, division leader.
They get swept. Now, we saw towards the end of the season, post All-Star break, neither team was playing particularly well.
Right.
In our predictions, who did you guys take?
I had Raptors in 7.
Didn't I have the Wizards?
I think Jason and I both had Wizards.
You both had the Wizards, yeah.
I thought
7, though.
This was going to be the
Not a
toughest.
sweep.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be the toughest series.
Yeah.
The 3 series that I saw that had the potential to go 7 were Clippers Spurs, which is currently not at 2. Portland Memphis, which unless a miracle happens, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then Washington Toronto.
Yeah.
So 2 of the 3 series I thought could go to 7 might be sweeps.
Yeah.
So that goes to show you what I know.
Yeah.
But I just was not expecting the Raptors to just lay down like they did.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
Drake
happened. I think that's crazy. I mean, I don't know what happened. I don't know if the team chemistry is just off. I don't know if Kyle Lowry was, because that game when they were playing Wizards, Kyle Lowry was not focused at all. He was getting very upset, getting very emotionally distraught, throwing the ball, he got teed up. I think he wasn't at his best. I don't know if it was because DeMar DeRozan got injured earlier on in the season and that's hurt his play. It was just a lot of different things that happened that, I don't know, just really deteriorated the Raptors this season. And you thought maybe Lou Williams winning that 6th Man of the Year award could kind of give them some life and be oh wow, we have a really good player here coming off our bench, and could kind of spark some off offense and things like that. But to no avail, the Wizards just had their number and just kind of just destroyed them. And I think, didn't the Raptors sweep them in the regular season too?
Ooh, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
They might have.
I think they had.
They might have, yeah.
And the Wizards turn around and destroy them.
And especially in Game 4, the other 3 games were close.
Yeah.
But then Game 4 happened, and the Wizards blew them out by what?
Yeah.
31 points?
That's insane.
Yeah.
So, we were just talking about how the Celtics just have to improve their roster.
Right.
Keep everything else the same, and they should see like an uptick in production and everything like that. Mm-hmm. If you're the Raptors, this is now back-to-back years where you lost to teams that you were arguably better than.
Yeah.
They lost to the Nets in 7 last year.
That was a great series.
And the Raptors, did they have home court? They might have had home court last year.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because the Nets definitely did not have a better record than them, did they?
I don't think so. So they've had home court advantage the past 2 seasons, and they have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
So now, if you're Toronto, something's obviously wrong. So what are you going to change?
Yeah,
Kyle Lowry, do you offer him up? I would say anyone and everyone on that Raptors roster
is expendable.
Is tradable, yes.
No way.
Including DeMar DeRozan. Obviously, the return would have to be equal or greater.
Right, yeah.
You're not going to trade him for nothing.
Right.
But I think this offseason, the Raptors will look into trading anybody as long as they get
something good
enough in return. Like, as long as they get the right deal, I think anyone here could be gone.
That's crazy. I mean, I guess you're right because the formula is not working. I mean, yeah, they're good in the regular season, but since the All-Star break, they weren't that good in the regular season. I mean, they kind of like limped their way into the playoffs. And I mean, I guess you're right. I mean, but they have a lot of good. They have a lot of good potential players on that team. I think their 2 stars are Lowry and DeRozan. They have Valanciunas and Amir Johnson and Lou Williams coming off the bench. I mean, it's a solid squad of players.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and it must be frustrating for Raptors fans to be like, man, we're competitive, but are we? I mean, we just got swept by the Wizards. Like, is it Paul Pierce? Does Paul Pierce just have their number, man? Like, that's crazy.
Right. You saw him call out.
Yeah. Yep.
And then him and Drake had their high five.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing, Drake? You're the ambassador for the Raptors. Pierce is throwing shots at your team left and right, and you dap him up after
Shaqtin' a fool.
They beat you?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
No, you bandwagon fan.
He's a Wizards fan now, actually. Do you know that? Yeah. So I was born in Washington, day one.
So the Wizards are going to move on. I think the Wizards, regardless of who they play in the second round, whether it is the Hawks or the Nets, I think the Wizards have a legitimate chance to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yep. That
seeding really helped them out then by them sweeping them because going up against the Cavs, I think the Cavs would destroy them. Who do you think they favorably match up better, Hawks or Nets? I could see them beating the Hawks.
I could totally see that, yeah. The MVP for the Wizards in the playoffs so far has by far been John Wall.
Oh, yeah. He's turned it on.
I don't know if he's averaging a double-double in points and assists, but I would assume he's averaging a double-double in points and assists because
oh my God,
Toronto had no answer for him at all.
Yeah.
It's a league of point guards, and John Wall flat out destroyed Kyle Lowry in that first series.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether it was him facilitating, his defense, him scoring the ball.
Yeah.
So if he can keep that up, I think the Wizards have a legitimate shot at beating either the Hawks or the Nets.
Right, and I think just that combo of Bradley Beal and John Wall, that backcourt duo is it's so good. And I think that if they played against like Atlanta or Brooklyn, that's it. That's the favorable matchup right there.
They're so young.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so young. So if they can keep them together, it's a fantastic backcourt to build a team around.
Yeah, and it's weird that Jarrett Jack, I think, is playing better than Darren Williams on the Nets' series now. Like, come on, D'Lo, what are you doing?
I know.
It's the beard. He's trying to act like James Harden. It's not working.
Yeah, he needs to shave it.
Yeah.
Darren Williams in Game 2, I tweeted this out a little while ago. In Game 2, D-Will scored 2 points. In Game 3, D-Will scored 3 points.
Is he averaging 2.5 points?
I don't recall what he scored in Game 1, but
1 point.
Yeah, probably. And let's see how many he has tonight.
Oh my goodness.
He'll probably have 4 by the time the night's over.
Yeah.
But right now the Hawks are up 7. It's 54-47 minute into the third. And Darren Williams, look at that. 13 points.
All right.
On 5 of 10 shooting, 3 of 6 from 3.
All right.
3 assists, 3 rebounds, and no turnovers.
Look at him go.
Yeah, so, he's had a ton of excuses since coming to Brooklyn, which is kind of annoying as a big Nets fan.
Yeah.
Back when we acquired him from the Jazz, Chris Paul versus Darren Williams was a legitimate argument for who was the better point guard in the league.
Yeah.
And then D-Will got to Brooklyn, and obviously it's been Chris Paul 100% of the way, 110% of the way.
Yeah.
So this year, Darren Williams has had confidence issues because his shooting's been off. He's had wrist injuries. Now he has tendonitis.
Yeah.
So it's just been problem after problem. And he's also blamed it on changing coaches.
Yeah.
Because they've had several coaches. They've had Johnson, Carlissimo. Now they have Hollins, Kidd. Yeah. So there's been a lot of change there.
Yeah, that's true. He does
have some points.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're getting paid $19.5 million this season.
Right.
We acquired you because you were arguably the best point guard in the league at the time.
Right.
We haven't seen that Darren Williams ever, and I don't think we're ever going to see that Darren Williams again just because he doesn't have the knees. He's not that strong anymore. He's not as quick as he used to be.
Yeah.
But you have to score more than 5 points across 2 games in the playoffs for your team to win. The fact that the Nets are down 2-1 right now with Darren Williams scoring 2 and 3 points respectively in the last 2 games is amazing.
Yeah.
Because if D-Will can somehow manage to turn around like he has tonight with now 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, if he can go back to at least a decent Darren Williams, the Nets have a chance at winning this series. Because Brook Lopez has been on fire. Right now he has 16 points, 4 rebounds, shooting 8 of 14 from the field. He's been the X factor for the Nets, and the reason that the Nets pulled out that one game because everybody's saying the Hawks are struggling with his height.
Yeah.
And that's been the truth. So you dump the ball in to Thaddeus Young and Brook Lopez. You let them do their thing in the post. The Hawks are going to have to help because they keep getting beat in the post, with Brook Lopez especially. So they start doubling Brook Lopez. That's going to open up someone on the wing. It's been Darren Williams who hasn't been able to hit a shot. But if Darren Williams can now hit those shots, the Hawks have to run around because now they have to worry about contesting. And
diving.
Yeah. So you have to either stop Darren Williams or Brook Lopez. As of right now, they've only had to stop Lopez because D-Will isn't scoring.
Yeah,
but if D-Will can turn it on, the Nets, they have, I'm not just saying this because I'm a Nets fan. The Nets, in my estimation, have a legitimate shot at winning the series.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have proved it. I mean, you guys are, when everything runs efficiently and everything goes smoothly, the Nets could be a really good team to play against. And with Jarrett Jack coming off the bench, I mean, he's not that bad. Like, he's doing pretty well for the Nets right now. So I think that, what's the series, right? Is it 2-1 right now?
It's 2-1 Hawks, yeah.
Yeah, but those 2 games were, not easily winnable, but, the Nets could have won that game.
We keep talking about how close and competitive every game is. This series is another example of that, where every game so far has been close. The Hawks won game 1 in Atlanta by 7. And then they won game 2 by 5.
Oh, yeah, that was such a heartbreaker when D-Will missed that shot.
Oh, he makes that jumper at the end.
Yeah.
Yep. Nets have a chance at winning that one. Could be up 2-1 with game 4 in Brooklyn right now.
That would be the... Oh, keep going.
Yep. And then game 3 goes to Brooklyn by 8.
Yeah.
So everything's close.
Yeah.
And the score right now is under 10, last I checked. So, yeah, it's an 8-point game for the Hawks right now.
Yeah.
So every game is close. It's incredible.
Are you surprised about the Memphis-Portland series?
Yeah, so this is one of the ones. I think I took Memphis in 6.
I took Memphis in 4. I was confident in my Grizz that they'd win. Well, I was more confident in Mike Conley's play and in Gasol and Randolph's play.
Right.
Because I think they match up well against that team. And I think Mike Conley was stealing Damian Lillard's cookies. I mean, he was playing really good defense on him, and Damian Lillard was not shooting the ball particularly well.
Especially in the first 2 games.
Yeah, he was not shooting the ball well. So I think, that I think defense, plays a big factor on it. And I saw a lot of switches too, where I don't know if Courtney Lee or Tony Allen was on him, and he was playing really good defense on Lillard as well. And LaMarcus Aldridge, I think, took 30-plus shots in the first game or something. You don't win games when one person's shooting so many shots and only hitting less than 50% of them. That's not, you don't win basketball games like that.
The Grizzlies' identity is a defensive-minded team, and that's exactly what they've done through the first 3 games of this series.
Right.
They've shut down Damian Lillard and LaMarcus Aldridge. So like you said, they're both, what they're doing, Aldridge and Lillard are going to take their shots, and they're going to take a lot of shots.
Yeah.
But what the Grizzlies are making sure that they do is forcing Lillard and LaMarcus to take the shots the Grizzlies want them to take.
Right.
It's not open threes or, in LaMarcus's case, an open mid-range jumper. It's stuff where they have to create their shot. There's a hand in their face. They're contesting.
Yeah.
And the Grizzlies just play their hounding D that they're known for. Mm-hmm. So that's been the problem. And also, it kind of stinks for Portland. The injury bug destroyed the team. Wes Matthews, they just got a Flalo back.
Yeah.
But they've been decimated with injuries. Yeah. And, they were so good in the first half.
Yeah.
But
and it sucks that I don't know how long Mike Conley's going to be out because he has facial.
It could be just a game because
really?
Westbrook had a similar surgery earlier in the season.
Oh, wow.
And he only missed one game. And I think he had 3 days off total, but they only had one game during that span.
Yeah.
So Conley potentially maybe only 1 or 2 games.
And see, that would really help out Conley too. If Memphis ends up winning this game in 4, gives him a lot of time to rest because he's been fighting that right ankle sprain for the longest time, and it's like underneath his foot. It's like on the side underneath of his foot, in between like the ball of his foot and like where your big toe is or whatever, like the arch of your foot. So he's had the sprain there longest time. Then Beno Udre, I think, rolls his ankle or something like that, and he was playing well. So like if they can just pull out a win here, man, that'd be cool for both Conley and Beno.
Yep. So Memphis up 3-0 in that series. Game 4 will be in Memphis.
Yeah.
If they win that, they have a date with the Warriors. If you're the Warriors, I mean, obviously you'd rather play Portland just because the thing about Memphis and what makes them so annoying is that they're the only team left in the league that plays 2 bigs. So we were talking about this over the weekend, and one of our friends, Shamar, actually said
Shout out to Shamar.
That the Clippers play a similar style to the Grizzlies in the sense that they play 2 bigs. And I said, no. Fine, they play 2 bigs. But you don't run offensive sets for DeAndre Jordan.
Right.
You don't give Jordan the chance to go ISO.
Yeah.
Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol can both go ISO.
Yeah.
They're both fabulous mid-range shooters. They can both play back to basket or they can face up. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're gifted passers, especially Gasol.
Right.
So that's what makes them so annoying and so tough to play with.
Right.
Because the NBA is going small. Everybody's going small. All 29 other teams are going small, except for the Memphis Grizzlies, who refuse to change.
Yeah.
So because of that just makes them a difficult matchup because the Warriors aren't going to be used to playing like that.
Yeah.
That style of basketball against that kind of height and that kind of weight. I mean, those are big guys.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't see Zach Randolph throwing beautiful lobs to Marc Gasol and slamming it home. I don't see that at all. I don't see Mike Conley doing some flashy passes to Randolph or anything like that for the huge lob and dunk. So I don't see Memphis and LA being kind of the same team.
Yeah, no.
I can maybe see Memphis and like Chicago because they play Noah and they play Gasol. But like I think maybe when the Bulls were more of a defensive minded team with Rose out, but I don't know. I think you're right. I think Memphis is that outlier team that still does what
defense
they want to do.
Bigs.
Yeah, they want to do what they want to do.
Yep,
that's right.
So moving on to the last 2 series, we have the Clippers and the Spurs knotted up at 2. This is one of the ones that I picked in 7. I had the Clippers just because Chris Paul his team's been so bad in the playoffs. He just can't get to that conference finals ever. And he's getting up there in age, like we said a while ago.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping the Clippers can pull this one out.
Yeah.
But I don't know at this point.
I don't know. I don't know what the Spurs, man. Everyone rules them out every single year and says, "Man, they're too old." Blah blah blah. We've had this conversation so many times.
Every year.
It's annoying at this point. It's cliche at this point to say that they're down and out. But I mean, Kawhi Leonard's been playing really well. It seems like he's just been turning on in the playoffs. I mean, Tony Parker, he's been battling with some like nagging injuries too. But if he can play well, then they'll be good. And I don't know. Like you said, Chris Paul has a lot to fight for, because he's getting old and things like that. And I think that if he were to just kind of get over this hump, maybe being the Spurs, that'd be great because then he has a favorable matchup, I think, against a Rockets team that has no point guard. So that's good. He's going to have his way there. And then that'd be a really, really fun Western Conference Finals to see Warriors and Clippers. But I don't know. I think the series can go kind of either way.
I agree. Chris Paul kind of led the way for the Clippers. I was going to wear my Chris Paul jersey tonight.
Yeah, he put it on and then he took it off.
I took it off because the red shirt I was wearing is darker than the red of the jersey, and the contrast was just ugly.
Yeah, of course.
So I took it off. But
of course.
You
don't be that guy.
Yeah. When Chris Paul scores more than 30 points in a playoff game, the Clippers have always lost the next game.
What?
Chris Paul scored 34. Which means the Clippers are probably going to lose the next game and go down 3-2. So hopefully they'll be able to find a way because that team's just so good. And they keep getting bounced from the playoffs year after year.
Yeah.
And individually, they've gotten so much better. You look at Blake, who's actually developed a reliable mid-range shot.
Yeah.
And he shoots the 3.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Let it be known that he had
better
air
than
quotes.
He used to.
He did air quotes when he said 3.
Yeah. Better than he used to.
Yeah.
You don't want him taking many a game, but at least he can actually make them now.
Yeah.
Then you have the role players, Matt Barnes, Glenn Davis, if you can call Glenn Davis a role player. Austin Rivers has played phenomenal. I don't like Austin Rivers. Never liked him, even when he was on the Pelicans. I thought that Clippers trade to get him was dumb because they got rid of like 3 players to require this backup point guard who does that.
Yeah.
But he's played so well. I don't know if it's because he's playing under his dad in that whole relationship.
Yeah.
But Austin Rivers has been fantastic. He got the game ball because he scored 16 off the bench.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive for like a very low talented point guard.
And JJ Redick, it's a lot rests on his shoulders because he's really the shooter.
Yeah.
You have DeAndre and Blake post up threats, alley-oop threats. Chris Paul's going to facilitate, do what he does, knock guys out of their shoes. But if Redick's not making shots, then that's pretty much it, because they become a little more one-dimensional just because it's all inside and post-game.
I mean, how do you feel about the Spurs going to the Hack of Jordan technique like in like 5 minutes or 6 minutes to go in the fourth? Like I find it so tough for the the commentators to even like keep talking
it's
because
boring.
of how slow the game is.
Yep.
I mean, on every possession you're just going to keep fouling them. I mean, do you think something needs to be changed?
I think they will change it.
Yeah.
They're talking about it.
Really?
That they want to outrule it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How long the game becomes.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
And it's very monotonous to see, like, watch, okay, John Jordan back from the line. Okay, misses 2 free throws. Okay, next possession, Spurs don't capitalize on it. Hack of Jordan again. Jordan misses 2 free throws. And it's just like the way to beat the Hack of Jordan technique is to get stops on the other end, which they've kind of been doing. Yeah.
And, if you go to the Hack of Jordan technique, what it does, yes, you slow down their offense, but what that allows for the Clippers, it allows them to set up their defense.
Right.
So even if the Clippers don't score, if they still play defense, it's just going to be a stalemate.
Right.
Because if the Spurs don't score, then nothing happened. You just cancel each other out.
Yeah.
So, especially, if you make that second free throw.
Yeah. They're running back on D already.
Exactly.
Set up the defense.
So, it all comes down to make your free throws.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
All it comes down to.
Please.
Yeah. Last series.
Yep.
Rockets, Dallas. I have the Rockets in 5.
I had the Rockets. Did I have the Rockets in 6? I thought it was going to... No. I think I had maybe the Rockets in like 4. I thought they were going to sweep them. I know I'm wrong, but...
I thought... When I took the Rockets in 5, I thought it was safe. And then I thought the Rockets were going to sweep them after they went up 3-0.
Yeah.
But Ellis fought and fought. And I didn't think that was going to happen. I legitimately thought Dallas was going to get blown out without Rondo and Parsons because that's just so much of that team.
Right.
But Dirk and Ellis obviously proved me wrong there and won a game. I think they'll lose this next game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now the big question in Dallas is where's Rondo going to?
He's done. He's so out of Dallas. It's insane.
At this point, everyone in sports is kind of trained to say the right thing and not say anything controversial. But Carlisle straight out said that Rondo's not coming back, and he played his last game as a Maverick.
Yeah.
My number one destination for Rondo at this point is
the Lakers,
the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, my gosh, why?
Lakers number one because they need a point guard.
I know.
That's why.
I know.
And the Lakers have money to offer.
Yeah.
Kobe, I'm sure, would love to play with Rondo because Rondo doesn't shoot.
He's an assistant.
Therefore, Kobe gets to shoot.
Yeah.
And I just think that makes sense. Rondo's a high-profile guy.
Yeah.
He's played in a bigger market. Back with his Boston days. He has winning experience.
Yeah.
Rondo in LA just makes sense to me.
Yeah. What a trader, though. You go from the Celtics, I mean, just don't even discount the Mavs, but like the Celtics to the Lakers, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's the biggest rivalry in sports.
Yeah.
That's like Brett Favre going from the Packers to the Vikings. What are you doing? That frustrates me so much.
Yeah, can't be doing that now.
Yeah.
So if it's not the Lakers, second one is the Knicks.
Yeah.
But the only problem with that is the Knicks want to run that triangle offense, and if they do, that requires a guard who can shoot, which is not Rondo's forte. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for the Mavs and Mark Cuban and company and Rick Carlisle. I think they're not going to even get close to winning this next game against Harden and friends. After we watched the Warriors come back from 20 down in the fourth quarter to beat the Pelicans, first off, that was very impressive that they did that. That's awesome. I was watching the game, the most recent Mavs Rockets game, and they were down at one point 24, and they were going into the fourth down 19. And they made a comeback. They got it down to like 5 or 7 in the fourth. And at a time, I was like, they're going to do it. The Rockets are going to get that clean sweep. They played really hard, but I think they doubled Harden and they forced them to make bad shots. And then the Mavs ended up, like you said, Ellis decided, no, we're winning this game. And Dirk too. So
put the team on his back.
Yeah, but actually though, and they decided they were going to steal that game. So I don't think they have a lot much fight left in them. I think there's a lot of team problems right now. They're going to kind of shed the dead weight.
Yeah, I think that hurts them more than anything. Just I wouldn't say there's no chemistry, but the chemistry isn't good right now in that locker room.
Right, exactly.
Especially in the playoffs, that's going to affect your play, and that's why I think the Rockets are going to win this next game.
Indeed.
Yeah. The Nets are down 12.
Oh, no.
With 3 minutes to go in the third.
Oof.
And Jeff Teague, after Game 3, said the Hawks are going to come out with a vengeance because they just lost that game.
Yeah.
And it looks like the Hawks are doing that. So, and now we're going to be going back to Atlanta.
I know.
And they could potentially, if the Nets go on to lose this game, Atlanta could potentially win the series at home. So that's unfortunate.
Real quick before we stop basketball, though, I want to let everyone know that Josh had called that Scott Brooks was going to get canned way early on in the season, and what ended up happening? This boy here. What? How did you know that?
You could see it for so long. You know, I said I wasn't sure just because of all the injuries. Durant, Westbrook, and Ibaka were all injured this year at one point or another.
Yeah.
So when you consider that the three best players on a team get hurt, I could understand if they didn't fire him, just because how are you going to grade him when your 3 best players are gone?
Right.
But I could also see it from the same point where he's been the coach for 7 years.
Right.
And they have one finals appearance to show for it.
Yeah. That's
when they lost to the Heat.
Yeah.
So, you can sort of see it with him playing strange lineups, clock management, subs and all that. Some of the things he did were just real head scratchers.
Right.
So I'm not surprised that he's gone. Who they're going to get to replace him is going to be interesting. Kevin Durant said he fully supports the decision, which I guess is good that your MVP and your superstar is okay with the coaching change.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing.
Yeah.
And I wonder where Brooks is going to go next, because I still think he's a serviceable coach who deserves a job.
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
So, I don't know. But I'm going to have to go back and find that recording.
Yeah.
I said that. I was talking to Jason, and I'm like, I called this. I said this on the show that I thought he was going to be gone.
Yeah.
So,
who could you see? I don't know if you can think of it off the top of your head. Who could you see as replacing Scott Brooks?
I don't know.
I know. What sucks is I would really like to see George Karl replace him, but he took the job too quickly in Sacramento, and that sucks for him, because I could see him taking the realms of this OKC team, and that'd be cool to see him get back into the playoffs and things like that. But yeah, it's tough to judge who's gonna coach this OKC team with Westbrook and Durant.
Yeah, and whoever it is, they walk into a great thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this here. One option. The Bulls are going to fire Tom Thibodeau.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not calling this one because everybody knows it's going to happen. But Tom Thibodeau, I think, the Bulls are going to win this series, even if they win the next series. The only reason I could see him staying is if they won the championship.
Right.
That's the only way I'd see him staying.
Are they?
But that would be one.
Yeah.
The most likely option, I'm looking at a list of 5 here. The most likely, I think, is Billy Donovan, because he has worked with the GM of the Thunder, Sam Presti, before. So they have a working relationship. So I think I would put him number 1. I wouldn't mind seeing Thibodeau.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
OKC. That'd be cool, yeah.
Yeah. And I like Tom Thibodeau, too. He's a good coach. He's a good players coach, yeah.
Kevin Ollie, UConn Husky coach. That's another option.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait that one out.
Yeah.
It stinks because the Thunder aren't in the playoffs, which is annoying. I'd like to see Westbrook right now.
Yeah.
Be playing his heart out.
Yeah. And that matchup against Westbrook and Curry, that'd be so much fun to watch.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, so that was a lot of basketball talk.
Yeah. There's lots happening.
We're down to our last 10 minutes now. Nets cut the lead down to 7. I'll be giving periodic Nets updates. It's down to 7 with 3:07 to go.
Even after the show, you'll come back on and be like, and the Nets are up 1.
So there's a little fight there.
Yeah.
Moving on to baseball. Adam Wainwright, pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, goes down with an Achilles injury. Now, Wainwright hasn't exactly been the healthiest pitcher over his career. He's actually been injured a lot, injury-prone, but he got hurt while batting. Max Scherzer, who just signed with the Washington Nationals, is also out with an injury. Fortunately, he's not out for the entire season like Wainwright is, but he also got hurt while batting. Now, both these pitchers brought up the point, hey, we're pitchers.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be batting. Scherzer actually just came over from the American League with the Tigers, so he hasn't really experienced, being in a batter's box like that before. He's not going to take many swings. Do you think that, we might see a change at some point where the National League adopts the designated hitter rule because these pitchers are getting hurt.
Yeah, I think they do. Just because it's been so many years now where the American League's doing the designated hitter, and it's working just fine for them. So I don't see why they wouldn't, especially if enough pitchers speak out and say that they would like to have somebody hit for them, because it is dangerous. Like, obviously, it doesn't happen often. They've done fine. Most pitchers don't get injured when they're batting. They usually kind of just bunt or they strike out looking.
Right.
But then that's another argument for getting a DH, because that number 9 hitter is the pitcher, and it's pretty much a guaranteed out, like 9 out of 10 times. So I would say get rid of it. And I'm reading an article on CBS Sports about it where Scherzer is talking about like getting a DH, and he says he's not opposed. Like, he likes the idea of like getting ready to bat, but then he's like, but still, it's probably the fans would much rather see an actual hitter hit.
You know, who would you rather see up to the plate? You know, because they always walk that number 8 hitter so they can get to the pitcher.
Yeah.
Would you rather see Max Scherzer coming up with the bases loaded, or would you rather see an actual designated hitter, Big Papi, Billy Butler, someone who's an actual bat, come up and, you know, have a chance to knock somebody in? I'm so leaning towards the latter.
Yeah,
just because,
exactly.
I mean, one, we always see that these National League pitchers have these nice stats because the 9-hole adds up every game. So you're facing one pitcher every time you go through the lineup for the most part, unless there's a pinch hitter. That's going to have an impact on your ERA and things like
exactly.
that. So I would want to see the NL get that DH, and it also just make it easier. Now that the Astros moved from the NL to the AL, and now we have 15 in each league, an AL team always has to play an NL team, which means that at some point it's going to be an inconvenience for someone. Either an AL team has to bat their pitcher, which they're not comfortable with, or an NL team has to find a bat off their bench to designate.
Yeah, it's not like they carry a designated hitter around with
exactly. Them. So I think just to make the league more uniform, to make it more entertaining, I would want to see them add the DH. I think adding a DH is better than the AL removing the DH. I don't think that'd make any sense. But Jake Arrieta, who's a starting pitcher for the Cubs, actually came out and said that he doesn't think the NL should get a designated. I mean, this guy plays for the Cubs, so
that's true. That makes sense.
You know, look at them for the past 100 years. Not exactly.
Maybe they should get a DH so they can finally win a World Series.
Yeah. But he said that he doesn't have a strong opinion, even though he's 0 for 10 this season when he comes up to the plate. He says he likes to hit, but he puts in the time and effort, so he should get to, even though that they're not very good at it. But I could totally understand getting the DH in the NL. I think it makes sense. Will it happen soon? I don't think so. I think it'll be a few years just because there are so many people, I think, that are going to be opposed to it, saying we shouldn't change the game that drastically and things like that. But eventually, I absolutely think the NL will have a designated hitter at some point.
They should, because you don't want to see a pitcher not be able to pitch because he, like, what was it, Wainwright tore his Achilles or whatever?
Huge part of the Cardinals.
Yeah, it wasn't even like it was a throwing injury where he was pitching and got hurt, where the one part of his body that he uses is out. Because he was trying to run to first, he tore his Achilles. Now he can't pitch. His arms are perfectly fine. It just sucks because he can't, and he's a good pitcher.
Right. Now, he's their ace. He's their number one starter. He's gone now for the rest of the season, doing something that if he was on an American League team, he wouldn't have been doing. So you put him in the AL, you put the Cardinals in the AL, Adam Wainwright's fine, he's still pitching, and that makes them almost an instant World Series candidate. But now he's done for the season, the Cardinals are going to have to replace that, and you can't. There's no way to replace that caliber of a pitcher. So if you're the Cardinals, I think you kind of have to lobby for that designated hitter because you don't want this to happen again.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a point, and I just lost it.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I know.
Indeed.
I know.
But one thing I want to touch on as a Yankees fan, A-Rod has been arguably the Yankees' best hitter so far. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't like him, but he's one home run away from tying Willie Mays' home run record.
Wow.
One away. If he does, or I guess at this point when he does, because apparently he has the power still, which is surprising, when he ties and breaks it, do you think it'll be a big deal? Just because everybody knows his history, they know he's cheated in the past.
I don't know.
Is it going to be as big as, if it was someone who didn't use PEDs and roids?
That's true.
I would say it's they'll probably mention it definitely on SportsCenter, give him a big congratulations and all that. But I think in general, people will more or less kind of give him the asterisk, just like Barry Bonds got when he broke the record and has the most home runs. That everybody's like, oh, put an asterisk next to it. He was on steroids, and it's tough to say because he took steroids, which is obviously cheating to enhance your play. Mm-hmm. But we are in a different era. Like he played 70 years ago, and it's like a completely different game now. And there's different types of baseballs are being used. It's all different, so it's hard to compare and say, well, Willie Mays did it without steroids, but he also did it with different type of pitching, a different type of baseball play.
Right.
But still, he did use PEDs, which makes it hard to say, yeah, he did that fair and square. Because even if it was one home run that was contributed from the PEDs, and that was the only one, it's still, he got one more home run.
That's true.
It's a tough thing, and I think it's like, it's a good feat to do, but I don't know.
You'll
I'm not going to give him the credit.
It's tainted.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, just because he's had that history. He said he didn't do it. He lied about not doing it. Everybody knows he did it. So, I don't know. He kind of dropped the ball on that one. For me, as a Yankee fan, I mean, it'll be great, but to me, it really doesn't mean anything. Yes, he did hit a ton of home runs, and, like, there's no taking that away from him. But, you know, his name, the name Alex Rodriguez, when you hear that, you don't think, you don't think of like a Derek Jeter type.
Yeah.
A guy who always did everything right, who always worked hard, never said the wrong thing, never accused of anything bad. A-Rod, you just think of controversy and bad things.
The polar opposite of Derek Jeter,
exactly. So I think that's just going to follow him for, I would assume, the rest of his career.
Yeah, probably.
And, it'll be interesting when he finally does retire and he's eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah, I wonder what will happen.
It's going to be interesting how they approach that because, 5 years you have to wait after you retire to become eligible?
So.
Or something? I think it's 5 years. At that point, we're going to know more. 5 years down the line, we're gonna know more things about him, about PEDs and steroids in general.
The whole biogenesis thing or whatever, they're really gonna crack down and figure that out. So we'll see what happens out of that.
Yeah, and who's gonna vote for him? Will they vote for him? What are going to be the arguments for and against him? Because he was a very good hitter, but
because they're supposed to go off stats,
right?
And you can't have his reputation involved when you want to vote, and as much as you do, and like everybody hates him, he still has good stats. Like he was a good player back when he was in the Mariners and the Rangers, and like even that's when it started to decline as he became a Yankee and all that. It's a reputation is what's following him and hurting him now.
Yeah,
it's like his stats are still good, and if he did PEDs, they can't like confirm it like 100%. They gotta let him in if he has those stats.
Right, that's true. And what works against him is that no matter what the baseball writers who vote say, they can say, no, I won't take that into consideration when I vote. They're going to take that into consideration. There's no way they can be unbiased in this situation and say, I'm going to put all of his lying and cheating behind and just strictly look at his numbers. Like, no. Realistically, we're all human. There's no way that someone's going to be able to do that.
Yeah,
true.
So
definitely a polarizing player.
Yeah,
he is.
Here's your Nets update. The Hawks lead the Nets 82-74 at the end of the third. Brooke Lopez,
20.
He's been playing fantastic. 20 points, 6 rebounds to lead the Nets. Damari Carroll has 17, 5 rebounds, 4 assists for the Hawks.
Wow.
Nets have 12 minutes to go. Down 8. I think if they lose this game, the series is over.
Yeah, because then they go back to Atlanta and have that home court. Ba-ba-da-beep-bop-ba-doop.
Exactly. Exactly that. So, it's tough. What's D-Will doing right now? 17 points, shooting a little under 50%, 4 assists.
All right, at least he's active. At least he's
it's better than what we've gotten previously.
That's true.
Yeah, but that's pretty much all the time that we have this week. Lots of basketball action. If you're a hockey fan, Islanders and Caps are playing right now, I believe, in Game 7. It's 0-0, second period. Red Wings are down to Tampa Bay 3-1. I don't know if Stamkos scored, but Stamkos actually hasn't scored to this point, which is fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't think Tampa could win that series if Stamkos doesn't score because that doesn't make any sense.
They're one huge player.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens next week. Rangers will either take on the Islanders or the Capitals, but next week will be our last show. It'll be finals week. So next Monday, it'll be May.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'll be it.
I forgot.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next week for our last show. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.